Y103, Youngstown's classic rock, Fast Freddy here. Coming up on June 12th at the Robbins Theater, we've got another great show featuring the Rascals with Felix Cavalieri and also Jim Peterik and Ides of March. And I have Jim with me right now. Jim, we can't wait to see you guys in Youngstown, and welcome to the show.
Well, we can't wait to be there, Fast Freddy. Really looking forward to it.
Now, I was having a little trouble pronouncing your name a little earlier. I would take it that you must be Eastern European of some sort?
I'm 100% Czechoslovakian.
Okay, well, I'm Ukrainian, so there we go. We got a little brotherhood going on here.
You got it.
Now, over the course of your career, you have been in a lot of different bands. And, I'm looking at your resume, and you guys sent me some notes, and I have like 12 pages of notes on your career, and it's been absolutely amazing. And it all started, you were in Survivor, Ides of March, Pride of Lions. You had your own solo thing going. Now, probably the first thing you were known for is the Ides of March and the song Vehicle. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in that song and what made that song such a hit.
Well, it's hard to ever say what makes a hit. But I do remember when we were working the song out, Vehicle, in Larry's basement where we used to rehearse, and we wrote the horn line, ba-da, ba-da, and we all had goosebumps. We looked around and we go, I think we just caught lightning in a bottle. And sure enough, went to number one nationwide and in Europe, all over the world. And suddenly we're on the road with Led Zeppelin and just living the dream. I'll tell you, there was great times. That was 1970.
Now, when was the first time you heard that song on the radio? Do you remember where you were?
I know exactly because I was on I-55, and it goes new from the Ides of March, and I floored that thing. I had a 64 Valiant. I must have been going 90 miles an hour down the freeway.
That's always a memorable event, the first time you hear a song on the radio, and then it becomes a hit. So obviously you guys were well aware once you hit that riff there that there was something to this song. Yeah,
there's a certain electricity to it that you just can't manufacture. It just happens organically. And we knew we had something really special.
Now, of course, you're from the Chicago area. And what was it with a lot of the horn bands in Chicago at that time? You guys, you had like the Buckinghams and Chicago. How did that whole horn band thing get started?
Boy, if I could figure that out, I'd let you know. There was a lot of great horn bands. We just loved the sound of brass. We didn't follow anybody's mold. We just knew that we loved, sweet soul music by Arthur Conley. We wanted that sound.
And that sound is timeless. I mean, you listen to Ides of March Vehicle, whenever you hear that song on the radio, that thing still sounds as fresh as it did when that thing first came out. And I can remember hearing it, back in 1970 when it came out. And to this day, that is still a fantastic song.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Now, of course, you did not only are you a musician, but you're also a songwriter. I'm looking here at your songwriting credits. You co-wrote Rockin' Into the Night, Hold On Loosely, Caught Up in You, Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, and Fantasy Girl for 38 Special. I mean, that alone, boy, those are all still classic rock staples to this day.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. Don Barnes and I, and this is when Jeff Carlisi was still in the band, and we're John Kolodner, the famous A&R man, put us together. And I always say it was like a blind date. We're in my office at my old house, which was really kind of like a studio. And there's Don Barnes to my right and Jeff Carlisi to my left, and we're sitting there like a blind date. I go, well, has anybody got any ideas? and Don Barnes says, well, I got an idea. It's a title. Hold On Loosely. And I go, hell yeah, and don't let go. And I look over to Jeff Carlisi. I said, what do you got? He said, well, it's kind of a little riff, kind of like the Cars, Well, let's hear it. Holy Mac. Excuse me. I left the room. I went into my studio, and I came back with half the song. And we knew we caught lightning in a bottle with that one.
Oh, that had to be amazing. The feeling, I'm feeling that right there. And like I say, "Hold On Loosely" is probably one of the biggest songs on classic rock radio to this day. And then you worked with Sammy Hagar, heavy metal. That you helped with that one.
Oh my God, yeah. This was before the days when Sammy had a brand new Ferrari. He pulls right in at where I got my bags, and he picks me up. I said, "Nice Ferrari," and Sammy goes, "Nice country, America," and we took off. And on the way there, Sammy said, "I want to stop at the coffee place and grind some coffee." So we go to his wonderful spread in Mill Valley, overlooking the redwoods, and we just started going. I said, "Holy crap, what are we going to do?" He says, "Well, Fast Eddie, my manager said there's this new movie called kind of an erotic cartoon called Heavy Metal, and they need a theme song." And then, so we had our marching orders, right? And we had this little amp and two guitars, and I started going, "Headbangers in leather," and he goes, "Sparks flying in the dead of the night. It all comes." We just did line by line by line. We finished that song in 5 hours, sent it to Fast Eddie. He says, "You got yourself a #1 record, and this is going on the heavy metal soundtrack."
Man, you make this sound too easy. It's like you got this knack, huh? I mean, there's so many people out there that sit there and struggle, and man, there's you and Sammy, or you and these guys from 38, and just belting out these classics. Now, sometimes it doesn't come that easy, though, right? When you're writing songs, or maybe for you it does. Maybe you're.
No, it's not. That chemistry doesn't always happen. And I can't mention any names, but there was one session I remember, nothing went on. He didn't like my ideas. I didn't like his ideas. Finally, after 5 hours, we called it a day, and that was it. I'll never write with him again.
He was hoping that let's get this done in a half hour and have 6 #1 hits, and then we'll be on our way. We'll go get another Ferrari. We'll go buy a Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. No, Sammy was like me. Boom, boom, boom. The guys I love to write with, Don Barnes, 38 Special, Jeff, all the guys we mentioned, they're spontaneous and they're talented. It's amazing.
And then, of course, you wrote a couple of albums with Henry Paul and the Outlaws. I'll tell you, Henry Paul, I'm a big fan of his. And every time I've seen the Outlaws, they have always put on an awesome show. He's one of the most consistent guys out there. I can't say enough about Henry Paul.
Oh, Henry Paul's my dear friend. And he's another one where every time we got together, I haven't written with him in some time now, but every time we got together, we caught lightning in a bottle. He's a great, great performer, great guy, and one of my all-time heroes.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic. Now you go on from that. And, most people would have probably called it a career. Most people would have had a career. So you got Ides of March. You write all these great songs, and then you hook up with a band called Survivor.
Yeah. Well, that was something else, really. I did a solo album in '76 called Don't Fight the Feeling. And we toured with Boston, and that was all really good.
Wow.
I remember Brad Delp was on side stage. It was only their second show with Boston, and he's like nervous. And he said, "Jimmy, I can't go out there. I'm so nervous. This is my second show." And by this time, I had met him before the show. I said, "You get out there, Brad." And I just pushed him out of the stage. And by the second number, he was Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah. It's just, I look at, like I say, I look at your resume. It's like 14 pages long, and of course you have a book out too. I got to look it up. It's called Through the Eyes of the Tiger, right?
Through the Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, it's a good read. All true and warts and all.
Oh, that's good, man. I can't wait to pick it up and read it, because to tell you the truth, I wasn't familiar with you until, they start talking, Ides of March, of course, I knew. And, then when I start reading your interview and stuff, I said, man, I can't wait to talk to this guy. And it's just a phenomenal career, man. You must feel really blessed with that.
Well, it's a pleasure. And Pride of the Lions is another one of my favorite well, it's more than a project. It's a band.
Uh-huh.
I met Toby Hitchcock way back in 2002. And he was at an Ides of March show in Indiana, where he's from. And we saw this guy was, in the front row just taking mental notes. That was Toby Hitchcock. And we met, and he came over to the house. And the first time we sat down, he's not a songwriter, but he can sing the phone book to this day. Toby's besides Jimmy Jameson, he's the best voice I've ever worked with. And to this day, we're just ready to put out our 9th album, and we keep going.
That's amazing. So what drives you? What keeps you going?
It's the music, really. I'm a music addict. I get up in the middle of the night. I dream a song, and usually in my dream, it's someone else who wrote it, and I'm going, why can't I write one like that? And I wake myself up, and I just wrote it. Not the whole song, but the seed of the song. And then I dart out of bed and go to the piano or the guitar, and I get it down, go back to bed. Then in the next week, I write that song. And it's kind of a process, but it's fun.
So when you first started making money in here, what did you buy? You were talking about Sammy and his Ferrari. Did you buy anything extravagant when you started making a little bit of money from the music business?
It doesn't sound so extravagant, but it was a Toyota Supra, black. It was just hotter than what.
Right.
And I remember everybody says, well, you could have bought a Ferrari. I said, no, I like this Toyota. I'm from Berwyn. I have Berwyn roots, which means, a Berwyn bungalow. We weren't poor, but we were very thrifty growing up.
Probably kind of like Youngstown.
There you go. And I remember visiting a session, and the star of the session was, he says, man, you bought a Supra. You could have bought a Ferrari. And I go, I wanted a Supra.
Yeah, when you come from these...
It was Bob Seger who said that to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, I got to get your book because, just talking with you here this afternoon, these have been some amazing stories, and your journey sounds really amazing. Now, let's talk about coming up on June 12th. You're going to be at the Robbins Theater, downtown Warren, Ohio, and the Ides of March are going to be there, along with Felix Cavalieri and the Young Rascals. Tell us a little bit about that show and what we can expect from your set as well.
Well, first of all, we're really honored to open up for Felix. It has been one of our heroes since the Young Rascals. And what a great career and what a great catalog of songs. So just from a fanboy stand, I can't wait for that night. June 12th, the Robbins Theater, in Warren. It's just a great auditorium. And the fact that we go back so far, I've known Felix forever. We're friends, and we just can't wait.
That's going to be a great show, and I am definitely looking forward to it. Jim, I want to thank you for taking some time out with us here this afternoon. Jim Peterik, who is the lead singer and I guess you could say the founder of the Ides of March. He has a band called Pride of Lions. He has solo projects. Survivor, wrote 1 million top hits that you hear on the radio every day. And Jim, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Actually, it's been an honor talking with you, and we can't wait to see you when you come to town on June 12th at the Robbins Theater in downtown Warren.
Well, Fast Freddy of Y103, you rock, and we can't wait for that show. Great God in heaven, I love you. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da.
Yeah. There's Vehicle from the Ides of March. You'll hear that live coming up on June 12th at the Robbins Theater. Can't wait.